Okay, good afternoon, everyone. This is a special meeting of the Jersey City Municipal Council. Today is Thursday, April 30th, 2020. We had a 2 p.m. start. The clock on my computer is showing 2:05 p.m. May I have a roll call for the commencement of this special meeting? Councilperson Ridley,
Here.
Councilperson Prinzary,
Here.
Councilperson Baggiano,
Here.
Councilperson Solomon,
Here.
Councilperson Robinson,
Here.
Councilperson Lavaro,
Here.
Councilperson Rivera,
Here.
sorry, and Council President Waterman.
Here.
We have 8 members in attendance at 2:05 p.m. May we kindly rise for a moment of silence, please?
Cherry La Palusa.
Jason Scala.
Edgar Bote, my uncle.
Thank you very much. Kindly remain standing as we salute the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, thank you so much. In effort to adhere to the social distancing protocols and practices imposed by the city and state authorities, the city of Jersey City has canceled all public meetings and closed non-essential services as of March 16th until further notice. As a result, this council meeting will be held virtually as a video conference with public access. On behalf of Council President Waterman, in accordance with New Jersey Public Laws of 1975, Chapter 231, the Open Public Meetings Act, also known as the Sunshine Law, adequate notice of this meeting has been provided by the posting on the bulletin board of the first floor of City Hall, the amended annual notice, which is the schedule of meetings and caucuses of the Municipal Council for the calendar year 2020, and filed in the office of the City Clerk on Wednesday, March 25th, 2020. In addition, at its time of its preparation, the agenda of this meeting was similarly disseminated on Monday, April 27th at 11 a.m. to the Municipal Council, Mayor, Business Administrator, Corporation Council, and the local newspapers, and posted on the city's website. So I can certify as our total compliance with the Sunshine Law. Okay, I'm going to turn the meeting over to our Council President.
Hello, can you guys hear me?
Hello, guys. How you doing?
Hello?
How you doing, guys? Do you hear me, Jermaine?
Oh, can you hear me?
Yeah.
I'm like froze. My computer shut off on me. I'm sorry for interrupting. I'm just froze, but okay, as long as you can hear me.
Okay. Sean, you hear me?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Well, I want to thank everybody for coming for this special meeting. This special meeting is to appoint a person for Councilman Young's seat, which we are sad that, we have to come together on a situation like this to replace him. Because Michael was definitely a voice in the community. He is definitely going to be difficult to fulfill his spot, to walk in his shoes. So at this time, I don't want to delay anything. But what I wanted to do, I don't know if there are any candidates that are out there, only the candidates, all right? And the reason why I said that, because someone texted me about a candidate. And so you can definitely, have something to say at this time, only the candidates, if they are on the list. If not, then I will proceed to nominate who I felt like I think would be a good person. And I just wanted for the record that me personally, and I know some other council people did, we did meet with all the candidates. We met with all of the candidates. I met with 8 and I had a discussion with them. So at this time, Sean, do you know if there's any candidate on the list that?
Is there a public speaking? Aren't there people that want to speak from the public?
I'm doing the candidates, Rich.
Yeah, but before we vote, I think this public speaking.
That's why I'm trying to get the candidates. That's
All
who
right.
should be speaking, the candidates.
All right, before we vote though, if there's public
Yeah,
speakers.
I'm getting the candidates. That's who should be speaking.
So on the list, I have a list of 8 speakers, and
Only the candidates.
there's 2 candidates on that list. I'm assuming they're candidates. I can read the names if you want me to.
I know, go ahead.
So the first speaker I have is Gerald McCann. Next speaker is Mariah Kingberg. These are people who listed in the order that they called.
Mhm.
Cynthia Hadjianis, I might be pronouncing that name.
Giannis.
Hadjianis. Brian Rands,
Uh-huh,
Demetris Terry, Catherine Heck,
uh-huh.
Patrick O'Melia, and John Furling.
Okay, so, the candidates should address the council first. Cynthia was a candidate.
And
Okay,
Brian Rand.
so we're gonna go with Cynthia. You want to get Cynthia on the phone.
Yes.
And Brian Rands was, I heard his name as well.
Brian Rand.
Yes.
So out of the 8 speakers,
Yeah.
you're allowing the 2 speakers.
Yeah, the candidates should be
Okay.
addressing the council. Even though the council had met with some of these candidates already, we will allow them to address the whole council again. I want that on the record because the public think that the candidates did not get an opportunity to speak to all the council people, which are not true.
Now, will the other speakers get a chance to speak?
I'll see. I'll see. I am seeing how this go first. I would like to hear from the candidates.
Okay.
That's
I want to hear from them. They should have the right to speak, the candidates.
so should the public.
Okay,
let's
let's do
just
the
proceed as
candidate
Council
first.
President.
So
So
if there are
I-
candidates that aren't signed up for the public speaking, should we try to let them sign on as well?
What candidates?
If there are others, I don't know. I don't know if they
No,
all,
we have a list, Brian. Some of
okay.
them signed up. Okay?
okay.
So, I mean, I just want to say, I know I was in this position 3.5 years ago, 4 years ago, and I think the way it went is people spoke and then the candidates, myself and Mike Griffin spoke after that.
Yeah, Jermaine, we had City
Wait,
Hall
wait,
then,
wait.
where people
Uh-huh.
came to City Hall.
Okay.
People don't know how to get onto this Zoom or whatever it is.
We have a list.
Okay, no, we got a list. People got a list, so we good.
Go ahead, Sean. Is someone on the phone?
You want to cue someone up, Sean?
Cynthia. Hello?
Oh, hi.
Hi, is this Cynthia?
3 minutes. Sean,
Can I ask, is there a time limit?
3 minutes.
3 minutes, okay.
Okay, Cynthia, I'm not gonna time you yet,
Uh-huh.
but I just want to make sure the council can hear you. Cynthia, can
Okay.
you just say a couple of words?
Yeah, this is Cynthia.
Can everybody hear her?
It's a
Yes.
little,
I can hear
Low.
her. Can you guys hear her?
A
a
little
little
low.
low.
It's very low.
Cynthia, do you have,
Okay.
are you on a handheld device? If you,
I'm on my, right, is it not coming in good?
how's that?
Yeah,
Better? Okay. Cynthia, I'm going to get the clock going. I'll let you know when to start. And you're going in 3, 2, 1, go.
Okay, so first of all, I wanted to thank the VA's office for calling me and getting a hold of me because I'm not sure I signed in the right way to be able to use your Microsoft Teams system. And I wanted to thank each and every one of the council people who did take the time to talk to me. I spoke with every single council member. I participated in the interview process. And I just wanted to reiterate, I think I do have good skills and experience that are relevant to this job. And I have I think a lot of the people who were interviewed, they have talking points. I have a real track record of successful achievements without even being in public office. So once again, I want to thank you all for considering me, and I hope to see you soon. Thank you.
Thank you, Cynthia.
Okay, thank you, Cynthia.
Okay, thanks.
Okay,
Sean, who's next?
so Brian Rands is from what the council members told me, that's the next candidate.
Okay,
Just give me one moment to try to get him on the phone.
sure.
And just before we started, Joseph sent me a text and his telephone number. So I'll add him as the last speaker, if that's okay.
Sure.
Before we go on with Brian, I just want to apologize to Brian because he's the one that I did not speak to. So I want to apologize publicly. Please accept my apologies for that.
Just give me 1 second, guys, okay?
Okay.
Sean, can somebody call in and want to speak now?
They have to reach out to them, Rich. Sean has to call them.
I'll put it on mute.
Brian?
Yes.
Brian, this is Sean Gallagher, City Clerk. How are you?
Good. How are you doing?
Very good, thanks. I just want to make sure the council can hear you, so I want you to speak up just say a couple of words, say hello.
Good afternoon, Council. This is Brian Rand.
That's
Can
a
you
little,
hear him?
no.
Testing 1, 2, 3. It
Is
is
that-
April 30th.
Is that better?
No. Brian, can you get up on your phone and I don't know if you got a speaker, maybe you want
Brian, are you on speaker? Are you on a speakerphone?
I am not on speaker.
Okay,
That's better.
that's
Better.
better. That's much better. Okay. All right, Brian, I'm gonna time you and your time is gonna start in 3, 2, 1, go.
Okay. Well, thank you for the opportunity to speak to all council members. And I understand that, Councilman Rivera, thank you for saying that just previously. I know I submitted my name for consideration this past Saturday, and things are very fluid. You're a governing body addressing one of the biggest health crises we've seen in over a century. So I understand that some of you are busy and haven't been able to speak with me. I would like to specifically thank Councilman Lovato, Councilman Cranberry, Councilman Solomon, and Councilman Robinson for reaching out to me. It was a great opportunity to speak about the issues impacting the Heights and our community at large. For my candidacy, I would like to fight for a more just and equitable Heights. Currently, I'm a staff attorney with Northeast New Jersey Legal Services, representing low-income and working-class residents in Hudson County, Bergen County, and Passaic County. I'm also the former president of the Riverview Neighborhood Association and the co-founder of Heights Vote, which was a nonpartisan initiative to expand civic engagement in our community. 3 legislative concerns that I'm deeply concerned about are amending our zoning to improve affordability and incentivize rehab versus demolition and create more on-street parking for the people. I want to help emphasize small business incubation, especially nowadays with the uncertainty of demand for our small businesses. And third of all, I really want to emphasize that we need to fully fund our schools. And I would love to work not only with you all, but also with the Board of Education to help ensure our kids receive the best education possible. Thank you again for the opportunity, and it's been an honor to be considered with other great community leaders in the Heights. Have a good day.
Thank you, Brian.
Thank you, Brian. Okay. So the next speaker, we're going to get on the phone. That would be another candidate, correct? Joseph is a candidate, correct?
Correct.
Okay. We're going to get him on the line. Just give me 1 minute. Okay. Yep. Okay.
Your call cannot be.
Give me 1 second, guys.
Council President? Council President?
Yes,
I have a text here from one of the candidates, Patrick Ambrosi. He says he
okay,
put his name on the list recently, but don't know if the list is refreshed.
I have a text here too. Jean Daly just sent me a text. She wants to get on. People don't know how to do this.
Wait, let me stop this now. Okay, the candidates, we definitely can hear from. He already have a list that people already signed up. I will abide by that list.
Yeah, but
Okay,
people don't know about this and people don't know about the special meeting. It should have been open to the public.
But it was announced. You could disagree. I can understand that. You could disagree. All right, you could disagree. So, Rolando,
Yes, Council President.
Patrick,
Yes, Patrick Ambrosi.
okay. I don't have a problem.
So before we let Joseph speak, I would just need Patrick Ambrosi's number sent to Marlene of my office, please, so then we can get him on the phone.
I'll do that right now.
Thank you, Councilman LeBarro. Okay, Joseph, you can just do the testing again, please?
Test 1 2 3. Test 1 2 3. Can you hear me well?
Council members?
I can hear. Could
Yes.
you guys hear?
Okay.
Yes.
Joseph, your time is going to start in 3, 2, 1, go.
Thank you so much, esteemed council members, members of the public, community servants. I'm here today. My name is Yusuf J. Saleh. I was born and raised in the Heights. I've never left. I went to Head Start here in the Heights. I went to PS 28 in the Heights. I went to McNair Academic downtown. I served as a Board of Ed student representative, and I represented over 30,000 students back when I was in high school. I was the president at McNair, president at Rutgers University in New Brunswick, president at my law school, and the commencement speaker, and I also clerked with the law department twice. I'm here today to discuss the fierce urgency of now. We need to appoint a council member, and I know Michael Youn stood for transparency. He stood for, being the independent voice on the council, and that's not lost on me. These are very big shoes to fill, and you as council members have a lot to consider. And I know that any one of these candidates, whether it's Patrick Ambrosi, Cynthia, whether it's the RNA president, Jocelyn, Brian Rand, all of these individuals have been diligent, careful stewards in the community, and they have a very good reputation with everyone. I believe that I am the best fit, though, to help the community now. With my background, I worked in the community. I was on the BLE, and I was an advocate there.
No.
I believe that we need someone who's going to help businesses, because as much as Michael Youn was an independent voice, he also wouldn't allow it. It's April 30th. Is due. There are payroll that's due. There's a lot of things that are happening within the community. There's 30 million people out of work. The Heights needs a representative. Whomever you choose today, I respect your decision, and I only have the best interest of the community at heart. And I hope today that you will choose me. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Joseph. Whoops. Okay, give me 1 second, guys. Ladies and gentlemen, sorry. Okay, so we're gonna get Patrick Ambrosi on the phone. If you give me 1 second, I'll get him on the phone. Whoops. I'm sorry about that, Patrick.
Hi, yes, I'm here.
Hi, it's Sean Gallagher, City Clerk. How are you?
I'm doing well. Yourself?
Very good, thank you. Can you just do like a test 1, 2, 3, test 1, 2, 3 for me?
Sure. Test 1, 2, 3. Test 1, 2, 3. This is Patrick Ambrosi.
Can the council hear?
I can hear.
Yes, yes.
Okay, Patrick, your time is going to start in 3, 2, 1, go.
Hi, good afternoon, council members and members of the public. First, my name is Patrick Ambrosi. I am the founder and president of the Leonard Gordon Park Conservancy, which is also known as Mosquito Park. I serve on the board of the Hudson County Young Dems. I have a master's in public administration. And look, at the end of the day, what the Heights community needs is someone that has been involved in the community for a long time. I've served on the Jersey City Reservoir Preservation Alliance Board. I've been involved with St. John, St. Anne's. I've assisted Washington Park, Riverview Neighborhood Park. At the end of the day, the truth is the Heights community needs someone who has been there from the beginning, who has volunteered their time and who has made sure there have been actions.
Did we lose him? I can't hear anything.
Right.
Yep. Lost him.
Tell Patrick to,
Sean, I think you muted.
That's me. It was me. It was me. It was me,
tell
Patrick. I
Patrick to go
apologize.
over again.
Oh, man.
No, tell Patrick, give Patrick another 2 minutes.
Well, we'll put it up to 2 minutes.
Okay,
All right, put another 5 seconds on the clock. Can we do that?
yes.
Give me 1 second, Pat. Give me
Because we couldn't hear Patrick.
Patrick, give me 1 second. I apologize. I hit mute by accident.
No problem.
That's my fault. I apologize, ladies and gentlemen.
Get used to it, Patrick. That's what happens in politics. People mute their
No.
votes.
That's not politics, Rolando. Don't
I'm
say
joking.
that, Rolando.
That's a joke.
Don't say that.
I would like to buy a vowel.
What's that?
I would like to buy a vowel.
As soon as it gets down to 2 minutes, Pat, I'm going to start you back up.
Okay, sounds good. I'm hearing a lot of static.
Yeah, no, that's
Rich blowing. Mute, Rich. Mute.
all right. You're going in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
So what I was saying to the council members and the public was, at the end of the day, the Heights community needs someone who has been involved in the community for a long time and who has been a part of actually bettering the community. So whether it's from the park to maintaining clean streets to advocating for the city council to do the right thing, I've been involved in several projects. And so at the end of the day, you know, the Heights community is going to go through, and Jersey City at large is going to go through a lot of changes. A lot of tough decisions are going to have to be made, and I believe that now is not the time for politics. Now is the time to roll up our sleeves and get work done. And that's why I appreciate speaking to Councilman Rolando Lavarro and James Solomon, and speaking to the other council members that I did speak to. You know, and hopefully, you know, we've talked in depth, and hopefully you'll consider my candidacy. That's it. I'll let you guys go with that time. It's all forgiven.
Thank you so much, Patrick.
Thank you.
Take care. Bye-bye. All right, council members, just give me one more second. All right, I'm trying to get, are we going on with the list of speakers now?
Yes, go ahead.
Okay, so the first speaker I have listed is Jerry McCann, and we're getting him on the line. Just give me 1 second. Okay. Mayor McCann, are you there?
Yeah.
Okay, now I just want to make sure, can you do a test 1, 2, 3 for me?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Can everybody hear him?
Yes.
Absolutely.
Okay, your session is going to start in 3, 2, 1, go.
Okay, so I am watching all you guys, and I can see that Jermaine has the bow tie on, so I know that he's replaced Michael with the bow tie. I heard, and I did watch the Solomon Lavero show, and it took a while to go through every one of those interviews, but they were all interesting, and I'll have to say they were all impressive. I was impressed by just about every single person that had to speak, but I am supporting one person. And the reason why, and I think that when we look back at the type of person that Councilman Yoon was, he was a representative, but at the same time, he was working closely now with the mayor. And he was working with the mayor of the Board of Education and other issues. So I think that we can't just make him to be that he was always in opposition. He saw things that he thought were the right things to do, and he expressed himself. At the same time, when he thought that things that was going on with the administration was the right thing to do, he followed suit. So I think that we have to recommend someone who is going to work with the administration, because I think ultimately that's what we need in the Heights. Now, I ran 3 times citywide, and all 3 times I won the Heights. I work in the Heights. I'm in the Heights just about every single day. I've had a lot of involvement in the Heights. I mean, things that people have talked about. I'm the one who built 28th School. I'm the one that built the swimming pool and the ice skating rink and the senior citizen building on Cambridge, the senior citizen building on Summit Avenue, the nursing home down in Ogden, kind of out of the ward. So I have a good handle about what the Heights need. And what I believe is the right person, who I think may very well be one of the most qualified people to elect, to be appointed and hopefully elected by you guys tonight, is Yousef Saleh. I think that when you look back at his time as a young man, he spent his entire life there. His family has been there for many, many years. He has 7 sisters that have grown up in the Heights. I think if you look at his background, I knew he was on the Board of Ed. I didn't realize he was the president of the student body at Rutgers, nor the commencement speaker and the president of the Student Association at Rutgers Law School. I think he's a very impressive person. I know you have 2 other lawyers on the list too, so I think that, you know, and I definitely dealt with Cynthia before, and Patrick worked with me, and I was impressed. But at the same time, I think it's important that people work with the administration. And right now, I believe that Yousef Saleh is the best person to be appointed to this position. And I hope that that's the decision that you guys all make tonight. This afternoon. Jersey City is going through a lot of problems, but I think that a lot of them can be overcome, but it's going to be hard work. And I think that that's why a young man like Yousef is the type of person that you need to represent the Heights. And it's not, Heights hasn't always been independent. They've elected people, part of the administration for many, many years. My 2 councilmen got elected, and Councilman Gorhan for many years. So I think that what we have to look at is what in the long run is in the city.
Mayor.
And I think it's
Mayor.
Sean.
Your time is up, Mayor. Thank you so much.
Okay.
All right. Bye-bye. All right. The next speaker is Mariah Kingberg. Mariah?
Yes.
Hi, it's Sean Gallagher, City Clerk. How are you?
Good. How are you doing?
Very good, thanks. Can you give me a test 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3?
Sure. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3.
Can all the council members hear? Thumbs up? Okay. Some of them are muted, that's why. Okay, very good. Okay, Mariah, you're going to start in 3, 2, 1, go.
Good afternoon. Thank you for this opportunity to speak before the council. I just wanted to start by offering my condolences. The loss of Councilman Yun has been extremely tragic, and I know that must mean that it's a tragedy for you as the council members who are his colleagues, and it's been tragic for our community as well. Councilman Yun fought for transparency and accountability, and this process has not been transparent or accountable. I'd like to thank Councilman Navarro and Councilman Solomon for conducting public meetings and airing them so that community members be participants in this process. I was able to watch these videos, and I think that we have a great pool of candidates who are dedicated community members to choose from. For you guys to nominate someone and to appoint someone. But the community needed to publicly hear from all of you that each and every one of these dedicated community members had been vetted and interviewed before a nominee was announced. And I think this process has been tainted by announcing a nominee before all of the candidates had been interviewed. I think it's disrespectful for the candidates, and I think it's disrespectful for the late Councilmember Yun as well. So, and we just learned that Councilman Rivera has not interviewed one of the candidates. I know this is a difficult time and that we're in the middle of a crisis, but I also think we need to vet and interview all of the candidates because this is such an important time in our community. So I also want to make sure that you're aware of the law. Filling a vacant council seat is not advice and consent. This is up to the council to make this decision. And you also could legally not appoint a successor at this time. So we have an election in November. I'm personally concerned. I think there's some candidates who said they would not run for election in November. So that way, that person could fulfill the seat and be dedicated. But it also is going to be difficult, I think, given that there's an election so soon, that folks who've indicated that they want to run in November, they could be, basically not, in the position, but then also running a campaign. And I'm not sure that that's going to do a service to our community. So I just wanted to make sure that you guys are aware of that, what the law is, and that it's really up to each and every one of you to make this decision as independent council people. So I've experienced some loss over the last 2 years, and I know that all of us have experienced loss given COVID-19. And from my experience, what I've learned is that when you lose somebody, it's up to you to take on the fight that person had. And Councilman Yun fought for transparency and accountability. So I'm asking each and one of you to take on his fight
Mariah,
and continue that with the Jersey City Council and with this appointment process.
Mariah, your time is up. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay. Our next speaker on the list, besides the candidates, is now Demetrius Terry. I am going to get him on the list. I'm on the phone. Give me 1 second.
Clerk, while you're doing that, I just received a text that one of the candidates would like to speak, and she wasn't aware, obviously, of the initial part. Her name is Jocelyn Patrick, and I texted the cell phone number to Marlene.
Okay. We have Demetrius on hold. You want to bring Jocelyn in first?
Bring her in.
Okay, give me 1 second. We're just getting Jocelyn on the phone. Bear with me.
No problem.
This is the very difficult thing. This is the difficult thing to try to get people on the line like that.
Yeah,
Okay,
I know it is, Sean.
I appreciate everyone's patience too. Jocelyn?
Yes.
Hi, this is Sean Gallagher, City Clerk. How are you?
Hi, Sean. How are you?
Very good. I just want you to give us a test. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3.
Hi, testing. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3.
Can everybody hear her?
Yes.
Thumbs up. People who are muted, council members. Okay, very good. Jocelyn, your time will start in 3, 2, 1, go.
Hi, my name is Jocelyn Patrick, and the reason that I am nominating myself for this position is simply to allow the voters in November to make the ultimate decision as to who will represent them. I'm not planning on running in November, and my agenda is simply to carry forward with what Councilman Young has already moved forward in terms of policies he's been working on, in terms of bills he's trying to get approved in the city council, and to move forward with his work so that in November, all the candidates are on an equal playing field, all the candidates have the same opportunity, and the voters in the Heights can make a decision about who they want to finish out Michael Young's term. There's no agenda. I'm not going to change my mind. This is simply in order to move the democratic process forward and let the people of the Heights be able to speak for who they want to represent them. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Jocelyn. Take care.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Okay. Our next speaker is Demetrius Terry. And I will get him right on the phone. Okay. Demetrius?
Yes, I'm here.
Hi, okay. It's Sean Gallagher, City Clerk. How are you, sir?
Good, how are you?
Very good, thanks. Can you give us a test by repeating 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3?
Sure, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3.
Can everybody hear him? Thumbs up, council members? Okay, Demetrius, your time is going to start in 3, 2, 1, go.
Thank you. I want to thank council members for all the hard work that what you guys are doing in Jersey City. I know it's a very hard time due to the current climate, and I definitely want to say that your hard work is definitely appreciated for Jersey City residents. I want to also just want to take time out to definitely remember the late Councilman Michael Young. He was a true independent, not only for the Heights but for the entire city, and I know that he definitely will be missed by many. We want to talk to you guys today is about the appointment seat. Obviously, the person why I'm supporting, why I think he's the best choice. So I'm very, happy to stand behind Yusuf Saleh. I think he is a very impressive young man. He's a millennial. He has a strong background. He always has been involved in the community. He always been a voice for the students. Myself in college, I was very involved on executive boards, and to see someone like him now, go out there and be the next councilman for Jersey City Heights is definitely impressive. I want to take like basically what Jerry McCann said, the mayor, who works definitely with the administration and also be a true independent. Michael Young was not always an oppositionist, but he stood his ground, made sure that whatever had to get done for Jersey City Heights and even for the entire city, that definitely got done. So I think that Saleh is definitely a good choice, and I hope you guys will choose him. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Demetrius. Take care. Bye-bye. Okay, our next speaker is Catherine Heck, and I will get her on the phone. Catherine?
Yes, hello.
Hi, this is Sean Gallagher, City Clerk. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Very good. I just wanted, you would mind repeating the 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3 as a test?
Okay. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3.
Council members, thumbs up. Excellent. Okay, Catherine, your time is going to start in 3, 2, 1, go.
Hi, council members. Sorry about that. It's been a long time since I've actually taken the time to. Yes, hello.
I don't know why we get. Hold on one second. Can you stop the time, please? It seems like we're getting interference with the phone call.
Okay.
Do you have any
I
noise?
stepped away from my computer. How does that, maybe that was it?
That's probably, that was probably it. Okay.
Okay.
All right. You're going to go back on in 3, 2, 1, go.
Okay, you could hear me now?
Yes.
Okay. So I wanted to say it's been a long time since I've spoken at a council meeting, taken the time to do so. I want to thank all of you for doing your due diligence during this very difficult time and during this pandemic. And I want to say that I think that we have to stop thinking the way we normally thought before COVID-19 and think differently. And I really applaud Councilman Lavaro and Councilman Solomon for doing the interviews and those videos very quickly, because that's exactly the type of thinking that we need and the type of transparency that we need at this time. People are holed up in their homes, and they need to have ways to interact with government. And that allowed us to do it. I was able to watch the videos and to make an informed decision, although many of the residents that are running, I do know because I live in the Heights. I recused Joycelyn, and I sent all of you an email saying why. A lot of the sentiments that Mo Ginrich already spoke about, I would totally echo. I technically live in Ward C, but I live right north of 139, and many of the decisions that are made for Ward B impact myself and my family. And so whoever is in that seat is very important to me as a Jersey City resident. So I really urge you to think about all of the people who have contacted you, myself included, and to think about what we're saying to you and really choose what the people want, not just what is the politically correct choice to make for the administration. The only other thing that I would ask is it would be great if, for the public record, if all of the council people would actually say that they actually did speak to every single candidate, because I know that Councilwoman Waterman has said that, and thank you, Councilman Rivera, for saying there was one candidate that you did not speak to, but I think it is important for transparency for every council person to actually say it themselves so that it's on the record. Other than that, I hope you're all safe during this time. I thank you for your leadership. I thank you for doing your job, and that's it.
Thank you so much, Catherine. Have a good day.
You too. Thank you, Sean.
Okay. So the next speaker, Patrick O'Melia, we called him back and it went right to voicemail. We'll try him again. John Furling, I believe, has refused to or declined to speak.
Okay.
Can we try Pat Amelia again?
I'm gonna try and talk to her on the phone.
Okay, we're gonna go to Gene Daly, which is the last speaker.
Okay.
But Marlene is gonna try Patrick to see if he can get him on the line while we're allowing Gene Daly to speak. Okay, well, council members.
Okay.
Thank you very much. Give me 1 second. Gene?
Yeah.
Okay, give me 1 second. How are you?
Doing fine.
All righty, so you can give me a 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3 test?
1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Am I synced up?
Council members, can we hear? Everybody get thumbs up? Yeah. Okay. We're ready to go. Gene, you're going in 3, 2,
Okay.
1, go.
All right. Hold up your phone then so I can see you. Hi, good evening or good afternoon rather. I'm definitely disappointed about this rush into nominating somebody or appointing someone. I think it's an insult to Mr. Yoon's memory. To suddenly just throw somebody in there is really a shame, and I believe a lot more time should have been allotted to this process. What I'd also like to say is that we already had people willing to step up and take this position. So my question is, why this nomination from our mayor and Ms. Waterman? And to me, that is just a way to airlift in or a convenient chess piece to allow them to control more of the board and more of what goes on in Jersey City. The one thing I admire very much about Councilman Yoon, God rest his soul, I miss him so much, is the fact that he was the only one who looked at the numbers. He looked at the numbers on the budget, he analyzed them, he made sure it was what was going on was in the best interest of Jersey City. Now you may say, oh, Gene, you don't live in the Heights. It doesn't matter. The point being is his vote is important to me. Having someone who's on the council who is thinking about me, a Jersey City resident, not just a resident of the Heights, is extremely important. I really am astounded by this nominee that just came out of nowhere. I think I preferred before the more organic process when people were stepping up and saying, I would like to be a candidate. I think this is an embarrassment. This is not transparency at all. This is for convenience. And that is the most insulting thing anyone could do, to take over Mr. Yoon's seat. It's an insult. He worked from the bottom up and he cared about everybody. Taking this chess piece in and dumping this person in that position is an insult. People who are behind that should be ashamed. And the minute I heard about it, I said, oh God, here we go. It's a total sham. It's a shoo-in. Because I know how it works. I'm disgusted. People in Jersey City deserve better. People in the Heights deserve better. And I don't know what your thought process is. I love the idea that one woman who spoke saying she'll just hold the position until the people in the Heights can decide. That was brilliant. I love what she said, and it's completely appropriate. Because you know, if whatever's going to be coming down the line right now, if you take the nominee, the Philip Waterman nominee, they're just going to do whatever they want, what the administration wants, and they will not honor the legacy of Mr.
Time is up.
Jane, your time is up. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye. Okay, we have our last speaker. We do have Patrick on the line. I'm going to get him on the phone. Give me 1 second. Pat? Okay, Pat, if you can give me a 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3 test.
Testing 1, 2, 3. Testing 1, 2, 3. Pat O'Melia here.
Thumbs up from the council members. Okay, good to go. Pat, your time is going to start in 3, 2, 1, go.
I'm watching the clock here. I tried to sign in, but it only allowed me to sign in anonymously. I know most of the people who wish to be the candidate for Ward D, or I know of them. You know, Cynthia and I go back a million years. Yusef, I met a few times. But what I'm going to ask the council to do is respect the wishes of Council President Joyce Waterman in making the appointment. As we had done in the past, Jermaine, I think it was with him 3-4 years ago, where then Council President Rolando nominated Jermaine, and there were 3 people, council people, Chris Gatson, Michael Yoon, and Richie Borgiano, that nominated another individual. The council voted. I believe at that time the council respected the wishes of then Council President Rolando, and I'm asking the council to do the same today, to respect the wishes of Council President Joyce Waterman. I think Yusuf, I met him a few times. He gave my mother-in-law a rose at church when he was running for the Board of Ed. Cynthia would have been also an excellent candidate, and many of the others. But in this case, I believe Yusuf fits in with the council, and I know he fits in with the wishes of your council president. So I'm asking you guys and ladies to approve the appointment. That wraps me up.
Thank you so much, Pat.
Thank you, Sean. Good
Take
luck,
care.
everybody.
Thank you. Bye-bye. Okay, council members, that concludes our public speakers, and I'm going to turn it back over to our council president.
Okay, guys, so I'm gonna move forward with it and let you know my nominee. I
Joyce,
nominate.
can you just say something, Joyce?
Each person gonna say something, and
Yeah,
when
no,
they
no,
vote.
no, this is about the people speaking. It needs to be clearly communicated to the residents as to how they should access and sign up when they want to speak. If we were at City Hall, we'd have 100 people down there. This system, nobody knows how to get on, and it's a shame.
Sean,
Yeah.
after it's over, you can give the instructions again on telling people how they should sign up, but I know we all working through a system here. And so at this time, I'm going to move forward with the meeting, all right? I nominate, and please don't interrupt me no more. I nominate Yusef J. Salim for the council member Ward D to serve until the next general election, which is November the 3rd, 2020. He's just there for a certain period of time, and then the people, the public, will have a right to go out and vote who they want to represent them in Ward D.
I'll second that.
Wait, hold on. I didn't hear who seconded that.
We have some discussion about this before we.
Go ahead, somebody could second it.
I second that motion.
Councilperson, so we have a motion to nominate Yosef J. Salih by Council President Waterman, and seconded by Councilperson Rivera. On the motion to nominate.
So Sean, can we make a clerical question for the clerk? This is a nomination simply to put his name on the resolution. It's not formally voting on the resolution, correct?
That is correct.
Okay, I just want to clarify that.
Okay, so now
this is
Sean.
the nomination to place Yosef Salih's name on the resolution.
Correct.
So the motion was made by Council President Waterman, seconded by Councilperson Rivera. On the motion to add Yosef J. Salih's name to the resolution, Councilperson Ridley.
Aye.
Councilperson Prinzary.
Aye.
Councilperson Baggiano.
All right, I just have to say something on behalf of the people of Ward D. People were asking for transparency in this process, but this appointment was announced before the interviews of other candidates were even considered. I am not sure why there is such a rush to vote on this today. I'll vote yes, but I think it's completely wrong that what has happened.
Councilperson Solomon.
So I'll save comments for a little bit, but just for right now, I'll vote no.
What was that?
He voted no.
Okay.
Okay. Councilperson Robinson.
Aye.
Councilperson.
Is it me?
Lavaro.
Okay. A question before I respond. So is there going to be, are we moving straight to the vote after this, or is there going to be additional discussion prior to casting any votes or any other further actions that can be taken, meaning other motions?
We go straight to the vote after this, right, Sean? Because I know when I had ran one time, that's what they did.
How can you go straight to a vote?
After you nominate. That's what they did when I went for the presidency. I remember that. I'm trying to understand this.
You
remember, Rolando? Y'all went straight to the vote after.
Well,
it was
I know
nominated.
when I was appointed 4 years ago, it went straight to a vote.
Oh,
I mean,
it did.
and the council people got, and I think, and one person asked to move my resolution to the front. I think it was two resolutions, and I'm not sure who, but someone asked to move it. I think it was you, Lavaro.
Right.
I nominated you. I nominated you.
And then it was like, because I think Mike.
Can I interject?
So
can I interject?
I asked the question. It's now point of order. It's my it's my opportunity or the vote. So I have an opportunity to speak. So I'd like to have a point of order and just allow me to say my remarks and get my questions answered here from the parliamentarian city clerk. Can a motion be made while another motion is in process?
I believe the proper protocol is to remain on the motion and take the vote on the motion. And if someone wants to make a motion after that, you may do so.
Well, that's exactly my question. If we're moving immediately to the vote, then, I would have asked that we make a motion. Look, we received a petition with well over 200 signatures. Yeah. And I know that I'm not going to criticize or suggest that. Let me backtrack. So the law calls for the council to make an appointment in the case of a seat being vacated by the city council. It calls for the council to do that. That's the only authority that's permitted to do that. And as we've done this in the past, as we discussed at the caucus meeting on April 22nd, it does not prescribe necessarily a process around this. And so, as I shared at the council caucus previously, that when we had a Ward B special an appointment for the Ward B position when it was vacated several years ago, and myself, Councilperson Rivera, Councilperson Waterman, and Councilman Boggiano were around for that vote. There was not much of a process. It was pretty much the mayor, I believe, put the name up. And at that point, the appointment kind of pushed through it at that point. Council members may have gotten resumes, even council members may have interviewed other candidates as well, but there was nothing structured in that sense. I'll say it was different for the Ward F council appointment in January of 2017. And the difference was, and I recall very vividly, that having a conversation with the mayor and saying that we should have a process around this, and that the process should include receiving resumes, and the mayor receiving resumes and consideration from folks about their intent for an interest in the position. The mayor made a call at that time for candidates, and those resumes came to me as when I was the council president, and I disseminated them to all the members of the council at that time, and informed folks that it was up to them at their discretion, and I would say it still stands today, because there's no process prescribed, but at their discretion as to how they would want to ultimately vet candidates, whether they, there was a lot of Ward F candidates, even more than there were Ward D candidates in this time. And so some council members interviewed, I did, but I didn't interview all of them. I looked at the resumes, I talked to a couple of folks on the phone, and then said, let me bring in a couple of folks to talk to them directly about this. And other council people did some things very differently. May have done things very differently. I don't know exactly I didn't probe other people's processes. What I understand anecdotally from post that vote is that Councilman Boggiano, Councilman Yun, and then former Ward B Councilman Chris Gadsden all conducted interviews together and made a determination that they wanted to meet with candidates, and they did that. And at the end of that entire process, we had a special meeting. The special meeting in that case was called, the rationale for it was called at that time, was for the idea because one of the council members was going to be absent from the regular meeting, and so there was not going to be a complete council. And I thought at the time that it was necessary to, in an important decision to replace an elected position, that all council members should be in attendance. So we had a special meeting at that time, and we did have the public speaking, and we had two nominees who came forward, who were nominated. In this case, we have not had that opportunity to do that because, as I said, in our case, and I was asked about whether there would be having a special meeting and what date would be appropriate, and I suggested that it wouldn't be appropriate to have a special meeting, that the time was available and there was no reason to necessarily call for one. That we had 30 days, and we discussed it at the caucus meeting, and then having that at May 6th would be the appropriate time to do that. So the fact that we're not able to do that, enact that process, and while there's nothing here and I'm going to say that on the record, I'm not suggesting that anyone did anything illegal or inappropriate. I think the situation calls for a greater level of transparency and a greater level of openness when we lost a beloved councilman to this terrible tragedy and pandemic. And we have communities and folks who adored him and were traumatized. And the idea that we should do right by them and honor them by allowing them to be participants in the process. And when I say participants, not that you give your decision away to them. I mean, some people will say that they should, that's in November. Voters will have that right in November to make that decision, but to give them and allow them to have that opportunity to be able to have their input, I think is when I say we do honor to his legacy, that's what I think it means to say to do honor to his legacy and allow for that transparency and openness throughout the process. We all received a petition, and I would like to submit that petition to everyone tonight, and I know everyone received it, but I would like it to be a part of the official record. Sean, do you have that document already, or is that something I need to submit and share as a document tonight?
I do have the document, and I did send it to each council member prior to the meeting.
Okay, but I would like that included for the public record as part of the documentation, that there are over 200 signatures asking for a postponement of this, and so my ask would be, and I was going to make a motion, but since it's not likely that the motion would be able to conclude after this, the vote on this motion, I would ask that the council consider, and I'm not saying to change your minds or change your vote, but to consider postponing the vote to May 6th at our regularly scheduled meeting. It does no harm, and it only allows for the public to ultimately chime in and be heard. And while we've heard from a few people, as I said, most folks didn't, and you know, we put that out there as these videos as a transparent, open opportunity for the public to be able to learn more about the candidates, and for them to be able to have that opportunity to view those videos and maybe provide the feedback that about what candidates they prefer. I mean, even before this process started, we had candidates who've withdrawn, and in one case, one candidate had over 800 petition signatures. I think we do a disservice by not giving the Heights residents every opportunity to have their voices heard. For that reason, I'm going to vote no on the nomination and ask that we allow for a motion after this concludes, so that we can make a motion to postpone and that the council consider postponing.
Okay.
Continue, clerk, for the nomination.
Yep. But I just wanted to say for the record that I will make this part of the record, the petition. I sent it to all the council members. It will become part of the record. Anyone wishing to receive a copy, you can just contact my office. Councilperson Rivera.
I vote yes for the name to be on the nomination.
Thank you. And Council President Waterman.
Yes.
So the motion carries 6-2 with council members Solomon and Lavaro voting no.
So respectfully, Council President and Clerk, I think I have the parliamentary right to offer a motion at the moment, which would be a motion to defer the resolution as now with Youssef Saleh's name on it until our May 6th meeting.
I'll second the motion.
So we have a motion to defer. Motion to defer resolution 20-301 to the May 6th meeting by Councilperson Lavaro, seconded by Councilperson Solomon. On the motion to defer resolution 20-301, Councilperson Ridley.
I'm going to vote no. I understand both sides and people's feelings, but I feel like during this time we have work to do, and the sooner we can get through this, then we need to take the opportunity to do that. And whether, whether Youssef is appointed today or he's not, I think that we need to get moving on this process. So I'm going to vote no.
Okay. Councilperson Prinzary.
I agree with the sentiments of Councilwoman Ridley. I've also had the opportunity to interview all of the candidates and read feedback from a number of residents in the Heights. So therefore, I think that it's time we do move forward, and I vote no.
Okay. Councilperson Baggiano.
It was scheduled for May 6th, and I say yes.
Okay. Councilperson Solomon.
Just very briefly, the reason I believe we should delay to May 6th is I know that my colleagues have, engaged in a process and have spoken to many of the candidates, if not all of them. But, none of the 8 of us live in the Heights. And I believe that the process that all of us engaged in should have maximized as much as we could the ability to get input from residents of the Heights. And as Councilman Lavaro said, we received over 200 signatures of Heights residents asking us to delay. and not just any signatories, but including, a candidate for city council in 2017, as well as the former HR director for the city. So these are people whose opinions I take very seriously. And I think it was, for me, figuring out who the right choice was at this moment very much relied on listening to folks in the Heights, as Councilman LeVar said, not giving them our vote, but really thinking about it. And so I'll say a little bit more about you, Steph, when we I think take the vote in a minute. But I just wanted to say that, I would have liked, had we had more time, to nominate Jocelyn Patrick for the position. And the reason why I would have nominated Jocelyn was, if you watch the videos and if you spoke to the candidates individually, we have 6 extraordinarily qualified candidates, 6 people that really, offered substance, deep knowledge of their community, and slightly different perspectives. And so I think folks in the Heights have real extraordinary choices before them. But Jocelyn said one thing that stuck with me more than any of the other 6 candidates. And she said specifically that she mentioned specific parts of Councilman Yoon's legislative agenda that she wanted to advance. And she was the only of the 6 candidates, and I apologize if I'm missing it, who, at least in the interview, specifically mentioned a specific legislative priority of Councilman Yoon. And then she said that she's not going to run in November. And in this extraordinary time of crisis, that made a lot of sense to me. The folks in the Heights would have someone serving them directly for 6 months without worrying about the election. And then the other 5 candidates, or whoever else wanted to throw their hat in the ring, would have 6 months to make their case, but not have to do the day-to-day constituent services, which are, extraordinarily important and intense right now. Have their chance to make their case while you have someone who's going to try to wrap up some of Councilman Yoon's important legislative priorities. So she would have been my nomination, despite there being 6 extraordinarily strong candidates. So with that, I vote yes to delay to the 6th.
Okay. Councilperson Robinson.
Yes, it's Councilman Solomon. I it's funny because I interviewed 9 candidates, even some of the people who withdrew, and I started my phone calls over a week ago, before any names came out. I did get a chance to watch you and Councilman LeVar's interviews, and I think we do have 6 extraordinary people, and it was still a couple more that I thought was really good that was in the paper before I guess you guys started to interview, that I did reach out and have some conversations with. And the one person that I didn't get a chance to speak with was Jocelyn, right? And I didn't know that you felt that strongly, and the reason I didn't reach out to her is she didn't call me, but I didn't reach out to her personally. She was the only one, is because I just felt that I wanted someone, and this is just my opinion, that I wanted someone who really wanted to be there long term, because I wanted them to really try to make a difference often and early in the process. I wanted them to hit the ground running, where that I thought that someone that didn't want to be there in November or next year may have been just a little lax. And not saying that, Jocelyn would have been lax. I'm just saying I want somebody who's there because they can fight for the Heights immediately to get there. And the other thing is, I wanted to thank the council president before we had this thing for actually having the meeting early, because I felt that if anything like this happened on May 6th, without us all sitting down right now having a conversation and talk, if we waited to May 6th and there was only one nomination, and then this happened where, it's 8 of us, and it happened to be 4-4, and the Heights would lose a representative for, until November. And I think it's with the pandemic going on and being, 6 months away, I think that's the last thing that I would want, that the Heights would not be able to, have a representative for 6 months. So I wanted to thank the council president for calling a special meeting early, just because of that. I wanted to make sure, because I went through this 3 years ago, and I kind of felt that something may or may not happen. That's why I called all of the candidates myself. I didn't know who was going to be nominated. But I do want to respect the council president, and I do want to respect her opinion about having a meeting, sooner rather than later, so it won't be the last minute, because the 6th is the last day. And I know you guys know that the last council meeting, I was basically saying the 6th is the last day, and I don't think we should wait until the last day, because I went through this myself, and it was a process that went on. I did interview with 6 of the 8 council members. Michael Youn was one of the 6 that I did interview with from the last time. And it was a process that went on, but I truly believe that we should just get this thing going so the Heights can move on with their representation and have a way to go. So I'm going to vote no to delay it.
Okay, Councilperson LaBarre.
So I've already said a great deal with regard to my feelings on this subject, but I do want to take this opportunity because, as I said, this is the public and who had sought this postponement and asked that more voices be considered in this, and the public's voices, I should say, be considered in this. And so I just want to take this opportunity, if you'll give me a second, and I know you have that document for the record, but I'd like to use this opportunity to actually read the letter into the record so that the general public knows what it is that letter was. And it says, community letter, it's entitled Jersey City Ward D, the Heights deserves open and thorough process for council seat selection. Community letter to the Jersey City Council. Councilman Youn's tragic passing on April 6th, 2020 from COVID-19 will reverberate throughout Jersey City for years to come. But his spirit of open government should be honored by the council. Councilman Youn's son, Benjamin, urged the city council to conduct a transparent vetting of all the candidates prior to selecting a replacement.
No,
the council's process to do just that, inviting submissions for consideration and beginning interviews. But yesterday, with not even half of these interviews completed and no public comment, the mayor announced his preferred candidate and is sending it to the council for a rubber stamp. The council should follow the open, transparent process it started and continue to consider all candidates, not rubber stamp the mayor's decisions. Mayor Fulop has undermined the public and transparent interview process. Many candidates now do not have the opportunity to present their qualifications to the council, the mayor, or the public. We, the undersigned, demand that the council hold a thorough and transparent vetting process. Sadly, the mayor's unilateral action dishonors Councilman Youn's family wishes and leaves Heights residents stunned and let down. Let's find the best person among the candidates to fill the Ward D council seat, not rubber stamp the mayor. And I'm just reading the letter into the record, and so that those voices are in fact heard. While I think there were, as far as I know, there were 6 formally announced candidates, and had the privilege and honor of interviewing all of them. I think all of them were exceptional and had all of their own unique traits and positions on issues and qualities and characteristics that would make them exceptional characters. I think for similar reasons as Councilman Solomon, that while everyone does a great job, I think ultimately kind of getting the input of residents and hearing from them about what they would say about the various candidates, without having had that opportunity to really hear from all of them on those particular candidates and who they think would best serve. I think I do a disservice in not being able to choose in that way. And while I think all of them will be great, and I think many of them are going to be running in November, I think Jocelyn Patrick at this time and moment, particularly on this particular day, would probably be the most appropriate nominee if we were going to do that kind of moving forward. Because as she has said and has already been said, she would not be looking to hold on to the seat, and her only motivation kind of moving forward, she wouldn't be bogged down by the need to run for re-election. When I say bogged down, what I mean is trying to figure out how to please appropriate votes when in the middle of a pandemic, particular constituencies, where she can just do the right thing at the end of the day, and not necessarily have to appease particular constituencies where maybe the right decision isn't necessarily going to be appealing to one particular group or another, but maybe better for overall for the Heights as well as Jersey City residents, and may not be in the best interest of political powers. So that being said, I think all of the candidates were exceptional. Thank you all for participating in this process. And I'm going to vote yes to defer to May 6th. And if we should have the opportunity to continue vetting, I will look to do that. But at this point, it doesn't seem like that's going to be the case. So
Rolando, I just want to say something. That's not.
Rich,
Young
Rich,
son did not son say.
You go out of turn, Rich. We in turn here. Let's stay in turn.
Finished. I have a right to talk. Ben Young's son did not say that.
Let Sean go on. It's not fair for you to interrupt when all of us are speaking. Everybody is speaking. Let them have their turn.
He finished. I didn't interrupt anybody.
Go ahead, Sean.
Councilperson Rivera.
I'm gonna vote no, but I just want to share a couple of things as well. I mean, just because we didn't do a video, or just because I personally didn't do a video and put the video on YouTube so everyone can see it, doesn't mean that I didn't call people personally. Like everybody was saying, we had actually 8 amazing, candidates that really that are really showing their advocacy for Ward D, and I'm proud of that. I'm proud of that, and I love that. I didn't call Brian, but I read his resume, and I just want to be clear on that, because it kind of makes it seem, that just because we weren't on either FaceTime or virtual or Zoom, that we wasn't accountable to the community in the Heights, and that we weren't being transparent. And that's just my personal opinion. But and I just want to get that out there. But like, I do share something that the rest of my colleagues do say. We do have, again, amazing constituents that really want to get engaged with us in the city. And it's horrible that we're here making a decision, filling the shoes of an amazing man, even though sometimes that Michael Youn and myself didn't see eye to eye, but we worked together, and we worked together from day one that we got elected in 2013. So again, I'm gonna vote no on the motion, and I just want to keep it moving so that we can address our city as soon as we can.
Okay. And Council President Waterman.
I'll vote no, and I'll save my comments for later.
Okay. So the motion fails 3-5, with Council members Baggiano, Solomon, and Lavarro voting yes. All right. Council members, resolution item 10.1, resolution 20-301 is a resolution appointing Yosef J. Sully as a council member of Ward D to serve until the next general election, which is November 3rd, 2020. Councilperson Ridley.
So there are a few things that I'd like to say. I feel like, and this might sound odd as a member of the council, but I feel like as a council, in this case, we dropped the ball. The council president didn't drop the ball because she made a nomination. So this wasn't something that was rushed, because we knew that we had a certain amount of time to fill this seat. And if there were other people that we wanted to nominate, if there was a process that we wanted to put in place, then we had time to do that. And we didn't. And now we're up against the clock, and all of these different things are coming out. So I think that if the decision lies with the council, then moving forward, we need to decide what that process is going to be, so we won't have this situation occur again. The other thing I want to say is that I did speak with candidates. Many candidates reached out via email with their resumes. I read through all of those. Candidates reached out via phone, and I spoke with candidates. Thank you to the candidates who reached out to have a verbal conversation and interview. I think the very first person that reached out was Patrick. I spoke with Cynthia, I spoke with Anthony Cruz, I spoke with Youssef. So to everyone who reached out, thank you so much. And if you did not reach out via phone and you sent an email, then I did receive those and I did go through your emails and through your resumes. But what I want to say is there was a point where the mayor made a post and he listed publicly the people who had reached out to him that were interested in this position. And the majority of those people on the post, I never heard from. So for us to now say that this is a situation where, you know, the mayor feels like he has a decision and nobody else has a decision. If candidates felt like the council had a decision, then we should have been contacted from the beginning. But it seems like a lot of candidates just went straight to the mayor and didn't even bother to reach out to some of us until this became a big issue. And when you're running or not running in this case, but you want to be appointed to a spot and you know there are 8 people that have a vote, you should be reaching out to those 8 people and getting in front of those 8 people. So I thank you to all of those who did do that. And not to pick on Councilman Robinson. I know we've been referring to him because he was the last one to go through this process. But I remember at that time, I wasn't on council, but I remember the councilman reaching out to not only the council people, but also to the community and getting support from the community and getting letters and feedback. I was one of the people who wrote a letter for Councilman Robinson. So, you know, he was really boots on the ground. And I believe if you want something, you put yourself out there. So thank you to everyone who took the time to put themselves out there. Now, with this nomination for Youssef, I had the pleasure of knowing Youssef for a few years now. I think he's a great guy. I think he's very smart, hard worker. And I believe that he'll be a good candidate. And I think that he will work hard for the Heights. I know that he's interested in, you know, getting involved with the council as we move forward, especially during this pandemic and getting some things done. He's going to have big shoes to fill, very big shoes to fill. It's not an easy job, but I believe that he can handle it till November. And in November, if candidates are still interested in this position, they have a chance to run and the public has the right to make that decision at that time. So as for right now, I am going to vote aye.
I'm sorry.
Aye.
Thank you. Councilperson Prince Airy.
Okay, well, as I mentioned previously, I had a chance to interview all of the candidates, including ones that have since stepped down or are no longer part of this 6 that were in this, some of the other interviews. I think that the Heights is very lucky. You all have a number of really talented and passionate people that care very deeply for that community. And I think that when they have the special election in November and whoever decides to run then, there will be some very good choices for people. With regard to this process and hearing my council colleagues who were part of the process for the Ward E seat and the Ward F seat, it seems like each time it's something a little bit different. And as Councilwoman Ridley stated, it's upon us to make sure that we're working collectively together on this process. And hopefully we won't have to do this again in the rest of our term. But if we do, I think it's important for us to have that conversation and dialogue. I think that in the time that I've known Youssef Saleh, he's, you know, smart young man. He's got, you know, good background, also background with small business, which is going to be vital to the success of this city moving forward in the pandemic. And I think that we need to move forward in the process. It's very important that we as a council are working together. We're going to have some big decisions to make, including decisions that are going to involve supermajorities. And my concern is that if the seat were not filled in the 30 days, that not only would the Heights not have representation, but we might not be able to get work done in the city that we're going to have to do. And it's, you know, we can't really wait until November for that. So with that, I will vote aye for the appointment of Youssef Saleh.
Thank you. Councilperson Baggiano.
Yeah, I just want to say something. I watched this whole process. I spoke to most of the candidates. I watched candidates drop out, and the reason they dropped out was because they knew a person would be picked. I spoke to Solomon and Rolando. I didn't want to be part of their process because I told them very honestly, no matter what you do, they're going to pick the person they want, and it's just a waste of time. I'm voting yes, but I'm very disappointed in this whole process, and so are the people of the Heights. And I got news for you, Rolando. There's more than 200 people that have complained. There's probably close to 1,000.
All right.
Thank you. Councilperson Solomon.
Unmute myself. Just basically just want to say two things before the vote. The first is, we've had, discussions of the process, and I think, I can certainly speak for myself and say that, I will try to reach out to all colleagues all at once when we're doing these things, following our Open Public Meetings Act. Did speak with the council president at the start of the process, try to figure out how we could coordinate, and it seemed like people were already doing their own processes. And I genuinely believe every member of the council, took this seriously and did their due diligence. My complaint in the process, and I think why you see so many members of the public upset, and just be frank, is the way that the mayor handled it. That this is a council decision by law, and he was posting names of people that had reached out to him, and then blasting a press release out with a recommendation. And if you are trying to argue that this is a open, transparent process where everybody had a fair shot to make their case, not following the process, that didn't convey that. And so a lot of folks in the Heights who have reached out to me think that a selection was made behind closed doors, and that was the end of it. So I think that's where the blame should lie for the public who thinks this process didn't go the way it should have gone. The second point with the nomination is, I know Youssef, and I think the world of him, and I think he will be my colleague at the end of this vote, and I'm extraordinarily excited to work with him. I know that he has a extraordinarily progressive agenda. I know that he deeply cares about the communities of the Heights, and I know as a resident there for his whole life, he has some deep roots and knowledge that will aid him to do the job effectively. But with that said, I can't vote yes, because I've already said I thought there was a candidate who, because she specifically promised to carry out some of Councilman Yoon's legacy and allow all of the strong candidates to take their case to the Heights, I don't feel like conscious I can vote in favor. So with that, I vote no, but very much look forward to working with what I believe will be Councilman Saleh very shortly.
Thank you. Councilperson Robinson.
Hello?
Yep.
Yeah. Oh man. First, I just want to say thank you to the council president. I said it before about having this process done a little earlier because I knew it was going to be some up and down. And I know I hear the rubber stamp term tossed around a lot, but when I think of the council president, I think she has a strong backbone and legs to stand on. And I've been in plenty of meetings with her where she didn't fuss me out so I know that she's not gonna let her voice not be heard on what's going on. So I truly believe that it had to be a group decision because she spoke to me about all of the candidates, even the candidates that were on that list. I thought I read it in the paper, but Councilwoman Ridley said it was, I think, on a list that the mayor had posted of the people who asked, reached out to him. And immediately when he reached out, I started reaching out to all of those people to try to see exactly what was going on. I didn't know that we were just going to get how the name was going to come. I didn't know. I wasn't on the council last time, especially when I was appointed, but and Councilwoman Ridley said it, right? When I found out that the Ward F seat was up, I had already ran in 13 and I had lost to Diane Coleman. And when I found out that she was stepping down to move up, so to speak, in the county, the first thing I start to do is go around to the community members. And I don't know the number, but I know I had at least 200 personal letters signed from all of, the community members in Ward F. I remember knocking on doors late at night. I remember sitting on porches, and I remember getting all of those letters and bringing them to the council. And when I had the meetings, I had a meeting with all of the council members, I remember, and basically letting them know that I really wanted this position. I met Yusef a couple years ago, and he has never stopped calling me. Every, once in a while he'll reach out and say, hey, Jay, you need anything? Or if you need anything, let me know. And I know he ran for school board. I never thought that he would, run for Ward D. I didn't even know where he lived. So we never talked about where each other lived, but he always asked me, over the last few years, if I needed anything to let him know. I think we had a good group of candidates, and it's so crazy because the one person that I didn't speak to was the one person that you guys, Solomon and Lavaro, the one person that you guys thought was the best. And, maybe in hindsight, I probably would rethink how I thought the position. I just thought that anyone that I wanted to put my support behind would hit the ground running, because I remember me saying, when I got appointed, that when I got in, I was going to hit the ground running, and I wanted to do everything that I could for Ward F. And I didn't believe, I didn't think that was the 100% option, but, and I didn't speak to you guys, and it's so crazy because she's the only one I didn't personally reach out to because of that. I didn't know that you guys felt that strongly. Maybe you should have talked to me and I could have rethought my position, but, right now, I think the Heights need someone to hit the ground running. We have a nomination here. We had a lot of good candidates, and I let it be known. And the person that I thought other than Yusef, I'll keep it to myself. I told them on the phone that I think if it wasn't Yusef, then it would definitely be you, and I made that to be known to that person. It was only one person, so they know. And I think we got some good candidates, and I mean November is going to be here really soon, and all of those candidates and the Heights and those 200 people, they know the process now. They should get outside, start getting their signatures, start raising the money, because everything matters in this, in this business. And I just want it to be known that, I really respect the people from the Heights. I respect Councilman Lavaro and Councilman Solomon for going through the process. I know, a lot of people said it was, a dog and pony show, but I really think you guys wanted to let things be known, because granted, the last time I ran, there was a process. I had about 25 people who put the resumes in, and it came down to 2 of us. And I'm glad and I'm honored that the council voted for me to become the Ward F council person. And ever since that day, I made T-shirts, I made hats, and one of my hats that say I am Ward F. My Ward F slogan is Ward F first, because everything I do is for Ward F. I could have moved anywhere in the world, but I'm still here. And I think Yusef, born and raised, will do a great job. And if he don't do a great job, we'll see in November when everyone has an opportunity to run. So with that being said, I don't want to take up too much more of your time. Yusef, we're going to put some faith in you. We're putting these votes behind you, and I truly believe that you're going to do a great job. I don't want to be proved wrong, but if for any instance that you're not doing what the people really want in the Heights, I'm sure the people in the Heights will let you know exactly what's going on, because they don't seem to be shy at all about sharing their opinion and making it known that, they will be running in November. So good luck to everyone in November. But right now in the pandemic, we need unity, and we need people to work together to make sure we get as much done as possible. I'll vote yes. Sorry for being long-winded.
Thank you. Councilperson Lavaro.
All right, I'll try to be succinct. Let me, before I address and vote on Yusuf's nomination appointment here. A couple of points I want to make. The first is I brought up initially, and we've made a lot of comparisons to the Ward F appointment from back in January 2017 when Councilman Robinson joined the City Council. While we talked about the process, while I talked about the process, talked about it within kind of the process as in general, right? The difference is that it's far from an apple to apples comparison. If folks remember the Ward F appointment, it was vacated because the former council person for Ward F, Diane Coleman, won an election for Hudson County Register. So that's in November of 2016, and then she didn't vacate the seat till January, right, officially, till she was sworn in as the county register. So that's why the appointment came in late January 2017, because she had resigned at that point, and so there was ample time and opportunity that gave a lot of candidates ample time and opportunity to be able to assemble the things that they did, from letters of support, and Councilman Robinson assembled a lot of them. And I forget there were a couple of other candidates who did too, but Councilman Robinson really excelled with that and put a lot of, and I remember him asking me at that time, is this enough? And I said, bring as many as you want. That's, that's certainly helpful. And I remember now, as I reflect back on that, I remember that the mayor even put out there, I think formally, in saying that put out any letters of support and requested that as part of the process. So the difference there is that there was so much time, because that process started much earlier, started before councilperson, former councilwoman Coleman actually resigned, because everybody knew it was imminent and it was coming, right? So there was ample time to be able to put all of that out there. The difference is here that this is comes out of tragedy. There was not any, nobody knew that this was coming. And the trauma of that, at least for me, the process didn't start until after excuse me, until after Councilman Yoon was laid to rest. I just felt, out of respect, that shouldn't even begin to have those conversations until his body was laid to rest. So, and that happened, and I just checked my calendar, that happened on April 10th. So literally we're 19 days later. And so the 5 days to the next council meeting, 6 days to the next council meeting, would be a meaningful amount of time under those circumstances. The second thing I just wanted to point out is that I've reached out to 5 of the council members in initiating this effort, and I say initiating, literally from the outset initiating, and that process didn't start, or even the bright idea didn't come until after the last council meeting and caucus, which was back on April 24th, I guess, or so, or thereabouts. So there wasn't a whole lot of time, and as we tried to assemble folks and get put together the process and make it work, and then trying to figure out who were the actual candidates, we didn't get it worked out until this late last week, and schedule the interviews on Monday and Tuesday of this week. So the idea that would be able to somehow notify everyone and suggest that there was a nominee, at least from my side, after doing due diligence and around this, is and I say due diligence, I still feel we didn't do enough, because we didn't have enough adequate input from the community at that point, like the letters of support and things like that, that would make a huge difference in making the decision of who to support. And so that's why I said today that that my choice would be Jocelyn, because in her case, as Councilman Solomon pointed out, she spoke very specifically to carrying on certain things that the Councilman Yoon said. So that's kind of continuing that work, and she was very much aware of what his priorities were, which is all illuminated in her in her video and her interview. And then equally importantly, that she's just committed to just doing the job in the period of time that she needed to do it, that she would have done it if she was appointed to the position. And so I say that's a decision in this time and day because of the circumstances and the rush to do that. And I would even say, and I mean no disrespect to Jocelyn saying that, I don't know that that decision would stay the same if it was on May 6th, right? So I might, after contemplating that and hearing more from community and reaching out to other stakeholders in the community, other Heights leaders to say, get your thoughts about this, then maybe I could have gotten something more substantial and be able to make, maybe I'd be making a different decision. So that being said, let me talk about Youssef and his candidacy. I've known Youssef for a number of years now. He's always seemed to be thoughtful and a hard worker, and so I have no doubt that he'll work hard at this this position. It's not lost on me, and that he'll be the first Muslim and first Palestinian to hold the seat, and that's another milestone and a breakthrough for Jersey City with our extraordinary diversity. That being said, I look forward to working with him completely, and hope that we can work together moving forward. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Go ahead.
Okay. I hope that we'll continue to work together moving forward. But given the circumstances and how this has all unfolded, I'm going to have to vote no at this time, and hope to talk to you after this and say congratulations to you, Youssef, and hope to look forward to working with you so that we can address the dire issues that we discussed personally and directly, and the challenges that Jersey City will face and that the Heights will face and homeowners will face, as well as that Central Avenue Business District, which is going to be devastated by this this current pandemic. So regrettably, I have to vote no at this time, and congratulations to Youssef, because I know he's going to have the votes at the end of this.
Thank you. Councilperson Rivera.
I vote, my vote is going to be yes, but I just want to highlight Youssef a little bit, and again echo my my sentiments with the other constituents that did apply for the open position. I mean, you know, when I called you guys, the interviews were great. I do want to echo the sentiments of Councilman Solomon and Councilman Navarro. Jocelyn was she was very strong on that point, and you know, she was very adamant, and that's all she wanted to do, and you know, that was commendable. You know, I like Youssef. Youssef was very engaged in something that's like very dear to me, and obviously all you council members know with respect to the Jersey City recreation and kids throughout the city. He's been very engaged, you know, with that in the Heights, and that was one of the things that really stood out for me and highlighted Youssef, and I was proud of that. Again, not that all of the other candidates that I spoke to didn't have great attributes. All of them, you know, were amazing, all of them. But that one particular thing, you know, stood out. And I just want to just say thank you to everyone who put in for the appointment. And I just want to vote yes on Youssef Saleh, and congratulations on a new council colleague.
Thank you. And Council President Waterman.
First of all, I want to thank all of the candidates that applied. One thing I'm not a procrastinator. When I first start receiving the applications, I start calling the candidates to have a conversation with them to see their, you know, what was their view with the Heights. Now, I want to say when it came to Jocelyn, I had a great conversation with Jocelyn. The only thing that I had a trouble with is her just wanting to stay there for that length of time, because I told her from this seat where I sit, some things take longer to fulfill. Like you can start a project and as a council person being in a seat, sometimes it could take 2 years really for that project to complete that project. And so I thought that was important. I wanted, you know, someone who was willing to just stay there. And she said she did not want to, but she's a great candidate. I had a lovely conversation with her. I had a good conversation with all of the candidates. I really did. But at this time, I just feel like Youssef would be better. That's all. And I know it's like, you know, this is a job. And I don't think sometimes we really like look at it like that. It's like this. It's our responsibility as the council to put someone in a position. The candidate's responsibility is to send us the resumes, to reach out, and then we interview them based on who we felt like was the better candidate for the job. We select. Now, this is the kicker here, so to say. Now, this is the probation period. This is what I call probation period, because if Youssef does not meet the needs of the Heights, then in November, the residents of the Heights can come out and vote against him. Their voice will be heard. He's on probation now, because if he does not meet what the Heights of the residents in the Heights are looking for, then he won't stay in that seat. Now I heard that they said they got 200 signatures or maybe even 1,000 or whatever, but there's over about 40,000, maybe 50,000 people in the Heights. And I believe when November come out, and I pray that we're over this crisis, that the people can come out and really vote who they want to represent them. So I hope by November they can do that. So Youssef, at this time, he's a good candidate. They all are good candidates. And like I said, Jocelyn, me and her had a conversation, and that was my concern with her, and she can tell you that. But I appreciate all the candidates are reaching out. I'm not a procrastinator. When you give it to me, I will definitely reach out to you right away. And I appreciate all of the council for doing what they felt like was their perspective of this whole process. But I hope as we go forward during this crisis, we learn to work together, because we do pick up the phone with any other concern. We can still do that. We can pick up the phone and say, how do you feel about this? Do you think of that? That's working together as a team. And so I just hope going forward, we can do that, because there's a crisis ahead of us right now. And the people of the city of Jersey City really need us to work together on the issue. So people, November the 3rd is an election. If you do not like Youssef performance, you have a right to go out and vote. No one will ever take away your right to vote. So with that, I vote aye.
Thank you. Resolution 20-301 is approved 6-2, with council members Solomon and Lavarro voting no. Congratulations to Youssef J. Salih, new council person for Ward D. On that,
Motion.
a motion to adjourn at 3:53 p.m.
Motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn by Councilperson Rivera, and we have a second by Councilperson Waterman, Council President Waterman, excuse me.
That was Mira.
Mira. Oh my goodness. I am so sorry.
That's okay.
That's
Let me
okay.
correct that. Let me
That's
correct
what
that.
we sound alike.
So I have a motion made by Councilperson Rivera, seconded by Councilperson Prince Airy, to adjourn at 3:53 p.m. I'll take a roll call vote. Councilperson Ridley.
Aye.
Councilperson Prince Airy.
Aye.
Councilperson Baggiano.
Stepped away, I guess.
No, he's muted. You're muted.
Oh.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you. Councilperson Solomon.
Aye.
Councilperson Robinson.
Aye.
Councilperson Lavarro.
Aye.
Councilperson Rivera.
Aye.
And Council President Waterman.
Aye.
Motion to adjourn carries 8-0. We motion to adjourn at 3:53 p.m. Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen. Please stay safe and continue to adhere to all of the safety precautions. Please wear those masks and those gloves when you're out and about. Thank you so much. Have a great night.